Alright, I'm gonna try something different. See what this is about. Let's just go with it. I need a break from the two crazies.
And strangers
And yes, y'all will probably hear my baby in the background.
alike, like they come into my house and they don't even say anything at first. It's just kind of like the jaw drops.
Wow.
Hey there, welcome to my apartment.
Is that how you spell Brooklyn?
Hey there, welcome to my apartment.
This is Summer, an environmentalist, model and author who has over 500 plants in her Brooklyn apartment.
So when people come into the house, I like this element of feeling like they're walking through a forest. My friends
I was about to say, she kind of looks like she fits the part. Look at her shirt. She looks like a, what is that, a safarian? And this is an apartment, too. I wonder, is she allowed to do that? I mean, I guess. That's crazy. I mean, I guess as long as she's taking care of them. Oh my gosh, that would be annoying. Why doesn't she just go live out in the jungle?
friends would always get like whacked in the face with a branch, but I was like, that's the point, you're like walking through the forest.
Over the past 6 years, she has amassed a staggering collection of indoor plants.
So many different types of plants. I would say that this is a borderline obsession. So this is my kitchen space, and
gosh.
I love it because I love the green on the walls and the green plants. This is kind of a cool plant. It's called a toothache plant, and if you eat this, it's kind of like getting a shot of Novocaine with a little Szechuan pepper involved. My mom and dad named me like Summer Rain. Like a lot of people ask me if that's my real name, and my dad always jokes like you could have become a porn star or an environmentalist. And it's my
The hell?
couch and just like a little place to kind of just come and sit and rest and relax.
I wonder if that, I feel like Summer Rain is actually kind of a popular name. I feel like I've heard that a few people and babies. I wonder if there's like bugs that come in the house to try to eat the plants and the leaves. I was just thinking, because I couldn't imagine sitting on the couch and then like with her cooking, like I mean, I guess if it stays clean.
So this is the place where I kind of like work / sleep. This is the first plant that started it all. This is my fiddle leaf fig. And I grew up in the country, so it was so natural for me to have like plants in my life. In fact, like I think it's so unnatural not to have plants. In August, I converted this from a closet to a kitchen grow garden. So I have everything from like lemon scented geranium.
Okay, so for one, why did she move into this city? Like, why doesn't she just stay in the country? And where the hell does she sleep? And put her clothes.
To broadleaf thyme, taro root, Cuban sage, bananas. We have some pineapples. We have some microgreens. This is peppercorn. That's a sweet potato. This is actually what the little slip of the sweet potato will eventually grow into. And you can actually even see the sweet potato starting to pop out of the soil. So that will probably be ready for picking in about a month's time, which is totally cool.
Summer typically spends around $100 a month on plants and 30 minutes a day taking care of them.
It's hard to walk into a plant shop without wanting to buy a plant. It's tough.
Yeah, she's in here all the time. She's always buying plants or pots or dirt.
And it's not just money and time that she invests in her ever-growing collection.
That's funny.
This is kind of like wacky, but I started to read one of these books, and it talked about like plants and music. And wouldn't you know that plants do have a preference for different kinds of music? And I thought that was like pretty cool. So they prefer Vedic chants.
What?
And then it goes into classical music.
Wow.
Then it goes into rock music. And then it goes into heavy metal. And then it goes into no music. So I thought, like, whoa, super trippy. But then at the end of the day, like, they're living...
Well, it was super trippy. I was wondering, I wonder if she smokes. Like, I wonder if she grows more than plants, you know what I'm saying? Super trippy.
breathing creatures, and you know what's great about them is that they don't like talk back. Now that I found out that plants enjoy the music too, then I do play it a little bit louder than before. I don't really talk to my plants in that kind of way, although sometimes I'll pass by and I'll like touch a leaf. There'll definitely be like kind of loving energy.
And Summer plans to carry on expanding her plant empire into the future.
So how I would like to carry this on in the future would probably be getting a plot of land in the community garden, continuing gardening, and inspiring others to get their garden on.
Oh, that would be a good idea. She would be the perfect person. Like in the city, have a garden somewhere. You know, like you watch on movies. They go clean up like a bad spot, bad neighborhood, or something for the community and the neighborhood, and she helps cleans it up, and then, you know, the teenagers and residents can come help and make it beautiful again. Well, that's something.
I mean, I think the new cat lady is the plant lady. I'm gonna be that crazy plant lady when I get older. I'm already the crazy plant lady.
They're so weird to me. Like, they're only a couple minutes long.
My life before I became a caveman was really quite different.
Caveman?
The pressures of modern life mean that most of us have probably dreamt at one time or another of fleeing to the hills. But Angelo Mastro Pietro has made his hermit dream a reality by spending over £160,000 making a house out of a cave.
Huh.
I'm 38 years of old and I'm a caveman.
I mean, this actually, like, it looks kind of cool. But now that I'm looking at this, I wonder if I would feel too claustrophobic. The only thing I would be worried about is, can something crush it? Which is probably stronger than a house, but I don't know. You never know. Like, caves falling in. Like, I don't know how old this place is. You never know. I don't know. I mean, if it was safe, if there was like, yeah, there's no way it would cave in. No pun intended. There's no way, you know, it would fall. Or any. Then it would be a cool idea. I just don't want to hear like any like freak stories. And then it. Yeah, okay.
I love a challenge. And I mean, I guess coincidentally, my surname actually means master of the stone. So, you know, maybe it's kind of in my blood.
He did most of the work himself. Even more incredible when you consider that only a few years ago, the businessman was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Wow.
I had a lapse that left me paralysed, essentially, which was really the catalyst to make me review where I was at, where I was going, and obviously my lifestyle. The Rock House kind of came along, and, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, I was as passionate about that as I was about setting up my company.
250 million year old sandstone cliffs near the Wyre Forest are said to have inspired Tolkien when he was writing Lord of the Rings. It was here that Angelo spent £62,000 on this 700-year-old abandoned cave, which he would turn into his very own hobbit hole. With a renovation budget of £100,000, Angelo set about doing most of the physically demanding work himself.
Okay, sorry.
In the end, I spent somewhere around about 1,000 hours.
I'm gonna have to rewind this. My daughter came in. Okay, so did he have to, since it's a cave, did he have to, like, buy it or have permission? Like, does, like, the state or county own it? Or is it just, like, kind of like a finder's keepers? You just had to spend the money to fix it up. Sorry, y'all. Hobbit hole. I don't know why these shows with, I love these accents, and it makes the shows so much more just interesting and like. Okay, and how cool is his last name? It means the Master of Stoners. Are you kidding me? It's awesome. Okay, sorry. We just gonna have to re-listen to it.
Where I was at, where I was going, and obviously my lifestyle. The Rock House kind of came along, and without a shadow of a doubt, I was as passionate about that as I was about setting up my company.
The 250 million year old sandstone cliffs near the
Wow.
Wyre Forest are said to have inspired Tolkien when he was writing Lord of the Rings. It was here that Angelo spent 62...
Y'all are gonna just hate me. I'm sorry. He wasn't talking about he wrote the Lord of the Rings. Someone else. I'm gonna have to rewind it again. That 250 million years old. $250 million year old sandstone cliffs. Wow. Alright, I'm gonna listen this time, sorry.
are said to have inspired Tolkien when he was writing Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
It was here that Angelo spent £62,000 on this 700-year-old abandoned cave, which he would turn into his very own hobbit hole. With a renovation budget of £100,000, Angelo set about doing most of the physically demanding work himself.
In the end, I spent somewhere around about 1,000 hours, basically breaking rock, cutting rock, barrowing rock. It totaled somewhere around about 70 or 80 tons of rubble that I excavated out of this rock house by hand. And really proof of that is the whole of the terrace outside. There's literally 100 square metres of terrace out there. None of that was there when I started, so that is all of the rubble that I've excavated.
The completed rock house's impressive features are anything but Stone Age. It even has Wi-Fi.
One of the things that's kind of impressive about the restoration is really what you don't see. We've put ventilation channels in the floor. One of the things that I was...
Okay. Again, like I said, I feel like that's cool. The only thing is, as long as it doesn't cave in on me, and as long as it doesn't make me feel claustrophobic, I think that looks pretty cool. And how freaking talented is he?
Quite passionate about doing was trying to retain the integrity of the rock house by not cutting in any chasings in to hide wires. This would originally have been the bedroom. These little nooks either side, which I've lit up to give the illusion of kind of light channels kind of casting light down.
Wow.
Coming through into the shower rooms, we've got underfloor heating in here. One of the biggest kind of engineering feats. This is where I'd excavated this kind of shelf, and then subsequently I dug down and created a shower.
All of the fresh running water comes from Angelo's own borehole, which he sank 80 metres into the ground.
These was originally two separate spaces. So the first task was I excavated this doorway. So to start off at the top and literally cut down, repeat the process so that the whole of the area that you're looking to remove was cut into stripes, and then remove the sections of rock, and just literally repeat. 11 days later, it kind of made my way through.
That's crazy.
Although the cave house was originally built as a holiday let, Angelo still harbours the ambition of one day living full-time in his unusual property.
Oh, he
You
doesn't
actually
live there?
hear when you see it in person, you get a feel for the place. Literally had people in tears. You know, I feel incredibly happy, very proud, very honoured. It's been a very inspiring chapter, I think.
Oh, that's cool. No.
Groundbreaking orthopedic care for hip and knee replacement is more than national recognition for safety and quality, more than helping you gain greater mobility and less pain with shorter hospital stays. It's all that and
Okay.
Bring dolls' houses right back into fashion.
This may look like something from the pages of an upmarket interior design magazine, but it's actually a room in a doll's house. The MyPad, built
Are
at
you
a scale
kidding
of
me?
1 in 12, features floating stairs, sliding doors, Mies van der Rohe inspired chairs, a minibar and entertainment console with plasma screen and surround sound. The ultra-modern doll's house is the brainchild of design.
Okay, this is like a minute and a half. I hope she has like a magnificent house. Why would you do this? I mean, I guess to each their own. I just find it kind of weird.
Designer Elaine Shaw, who handmade the majority of the doll's house's mod cons.
It all started when I was
Okay, I'll rewind it. Look how tiny it is. Okay, so it makes a little bit more sense because she's a designer. So I'm just going to give her the benefit of the doubt and maybe she... what was that movie it reminded me of? Oh my gosh, what was it? It wasn't Don't Mess with the Zohan. Oh my gosh. What was that? Maybe it was Don't Mess. And now I can't even think of the actor's name. Oh shit. I watch it Stiller. I watch King of Queens every single night. So his dad is Arthur. Oh my gosh. I know y'all are probably yelling at me in the comments. I want to say Jerry Stiller, but that's his dad. What is wrong with me? Ben! That happens to me all the time. Right before, if I feel like I have to Google it if I find out, I immediately remember. Yeah, Ben Stiller. Don't remember what I'm talking about. That movie he was in, and he was like a model, and he was like dumb, and they were showing him like the model. Sorry, this part just reminded me of that movie. Because I was thinking, okay, it makes more sense because she actually created it. It makes more sense because she's the designer. So maybe she was doing like a model for people and it would be easier to picture it small than in like, I don't know. I'm just trying to give this the benefit of the doubt. But it reminded me of Ben Stiller in that movie, and he was like, what is this? A school for ants? Because it was so small. Oh, I hope y'all understood that.
When I was just a child, two of my uncles made two different dolls' houses.
Designer Elaine Shaw, who handmade the majority of the dolls' house's mod cons.
It all started when I was just a child. Two of my uncles made two different dolls' houses for me, and then in the 1970s my mum worked in a doll's house factory. When my daughter was 9 years old, she saw a traditional doll's house that she got very excited about. I said that I'd make her one, but it would be a little bit more modern.
The single mum from Brockley, South London, is trying to raise money via crowdsourcing site Kickstarter to take the MyPad to market. The modular design allows users to buy one floor at a time, and while the furniture in the MyPad may be tiny, Elaine's ultra-modern doll's house looks destined for big things.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Sorry, that was kind of weird. These are like so short, it drives me crazy.
You need the right marketer. Like one who can optimize this, balance that, launch the.
It's lovely because I get to spend time with Lola and we create something beautiful together. I like to keep my identity anonymous because I don't think the art's really about me, it's about the art. I don't think you really need to know what I look like and what I get up to and all that jazz.
This graffiti artist has a unique assistant, her 10-year-old daughter, Lola. And Binti began painting when she wasn't that much older herself.
When I painted when I was younger at school, I was more into vandalism, should we say.
Vandalism, that's why she don't want to show her face. She's like, I don't know if I'm doing this illegally. I ain't showing my face. How are you gonna not show your face, but you're gonna show your kid's face?
Say than art, if that makes any sense, and I didn't have quite the respect that I've matured to have got now. But yes, so my parents weren't quite as approving back then, should we say.
Now professional, these days she has a far more unique style.
Well, I didn't want to do letters, because everyone does letters, and I don't like letters that you can't read. And so I thought I'd do something that, like, my children would see, and it would make them smile. So I drew a chicken one night, and Lola came down the next morning. I think Lola's about 4 at the time. And she goes, oh, I like your chicken in wellies. And I goes, oh, well, if she likes the chicken and she could tell what it is, that'll do me.
Binti practices with her young prodigy every chance she gets.
I really like when she does abandoned places because it's sort of hidden away, and it's not that the whole world is to see it, but if you go there and see it, it means that you're one of the people that experience her artwork. Is no actual...
I'm sorry, how her accent is so cute, her voice. She is so cute. Yeah, she's like, I am not trying to get myself in trouble. I ain't showing my face. Don't tell them where we paint.
Limit, but there is, in a way, but you can paint whatever you want. And it doesn't matter because the world won't always judge you because they will never really know who it's from if they've never heard of the artist. Oh, crisps!
Ooh, lovely. We can recreate the Beatles thing, can't we? On a different zebra crossing.
Binti regularly paints for her local playgroup, and today she and Lola have been commissioned to do a new piece.
We've been asked to do the graffiti on the wall out here. We're going to put a welcome sign here to welcome to the nursery.
That's cool.
I'll do this clip in the beak.
Okay. I wouldn't mind Lola becoming a graffiti artist if you wanted to. It's up to her.
I don't know. It depends on what I do. what I feel like when I'm older. Because I like it at the moment, but I might change.
That's good.
There you go. Yeah.
I love it. Do you love it? I've seen it around town. I've seen it on some houses and garage doors and some dustbins. And
some dustbins. So I feel like this chicken is like her trademark. I don't know why it bugs me so much, but why would you put the word welcome on the very bottom? But she did a really good job. Looks really good.
And I just thought how colourful they were, and just thought the nursery would really benefit from some lovely colourful chickens. And when she said she would do one for us, we were like really over the moon. I like to think it's family friendly. I don't want to offend anyone. There's no hidden message. There's no politics. It's just a chicken. I think you should make of it what you want to make of it. Interpret it how you want to see it. But it is just a happy chicken. Because everyone loves chickens, don't they? You love chickens? See? Everyone loves chickens. Beautiful.
Oh, that girl's so cute. I can't get over that. She wouldn't show her face, trying to use art as an excuse. Well, everyone knows who their mama is.
I've always wanted to build a treehouse from a young age.
Oh.
I've finally done it.
$200,000 treehouse? That would be cool.
This is the Woodsman's treehouse. It's approached through a rope bridge and a decompression chamber, rather like a submarine.
For some, it's a childhood dream. But for Guy Mallinson, building a luxury treehouse, complete with a few playful features.
Got a slide.
Wow.
And to help us. Oh, it's too sticky today.
That's cute. He's having a hard time going down. I was like, oh, that's sweet. He has a little slide, for his grandkids. Wow, I built this so it could help us. Whatever happened to that show? What? It was like the treehouse. Well, something about the treehouse. They help people build the treehouse that they wanted. Sorry, that's so funny. He's trying to scoot down.
Why is it so sticky?
Is now a reality.
Looks pretty big.
One of the advantages of being in a woodland like this is that it's obviously teeming with wildlife, and it's an absolute joy to sit there on the deck and watch squirrels go up and down and buzzards and deer walk underneath.
Now available to hire,
Aww.
the treehouse is perfect for those looking to let it all hang out in the secluded treetop getaway.
Yeah, they're showering outside with no clothes on. Obviously, they're in the hot tub with no clothes on. So I think it's nice that they can feel comfortable being naked in the woods, in the outside. But no one's going to see them because we're in the middle of nowhere.
Good. That would seem so relaxing.
On the far end of the deck, we've got a hammock and the tree shower, which is our old cistern from home, which we welded up. So on what we call the spa deck, we have the hot tub, a chilling out area, and a sauna for two.
Wow.
That's exactly what I tell people not to do. Just leave it on. And then there's this living wall around here, give you some privacy in your own little world up in the tree. It's taken us 5 months to actually build the tree house, but we had a team of 20 makers at the end, including my 4 I actually got 3 children. So this circular room has the bedroom, the bathroom and the kitchen, as well as a dining area. In the bedroom there's a step up and a roof light. There's a copper bath with a picture window of the tree. It's allowed to move and the water to go up and down it, animals to go up and down it. It's left completely alone. There's a window in the floor which looks down at the stream below. We've got these little portholes so you get fresh air blowing over the bath while you're lying in there. And then there's a small kitchen, again just for 2 people, so with an oven and a fridge, enough for 2 people to cook pretty much anything they want.
That's cool.
The total budget for the treehouse was $150,000. Right at this moment in time, I'm not really thinking about more tree houses. I've just finished this one. But I have to say it's gone really well. The bookings are going incredibly well. I'd be very surprised if I don't build another one at some point.
That's cool. I would definitely stay there. I wonder how much she charges. Alright, I'm watching one more.
How do you solve a monster-sized problem? With Miro!
What the hell?
Working in his robot foundry, artist Peter Kokis transforms himself from mild-mannered Brooklyn resident to human robot with his handmade creations.
I'm Peter Kokis, and I call myself Brooklyn Robot Works. I build robots, living sculptures in Brooklyn, New York, U.S.
Bro, look at all those heads. Look how scary that looks. Did y'all notice he had like a little cup for his manhood? I'm sorry, I feel like I can't trust this. The whole AI robots, I can't do it.
USA. So my art is to take ordinary household hardware items and use them to build famous robot characters. I look for complexity in everyday objects, things that you really use every day but never pay any attention to. I've been a bit of a geek, a nerd, a big science fiction fan, and always liked robots. And when I was a kid, I was an artist, but then I went into the military. So after I got out of the military, my creative juices started to slowly flow again. Started as a funny joke, became a bit of a hobby, became an interest, became my passion, and is now my business.
With commissions and performances, Peter's robots now employ him full-time, and he still retains his usual method of building the creations.
At first, I just started using ordinary household items without putting that much thought into it. And then that actually became my artistic challenge as I continued to build characters, was continuing to stay with household items, just readily available things that people have in their homes.
Though each robot is constructed from regular household items, it doesn't mean they come cheap.
So each character has a lot of parts, and no part is particularly expensive. It's just all the thousands of little parts tend to add up, so ultimately it's a few $1,000s in parts for things.
Wow.
Peter thrives on the challenge of constructing his creations, but one of the best parts of his job is seeing that they come to life before his eyes.
So my greatest pleasure after I build them is to actually bring them to life. So I take them out in public and I perform it.
Wonderful. She's so cute.
I design them all so that I can move and really interact with people. And that's what it's all about to me, is the one-on-one interaction, whether it be with grown-ups or with children.
It was a highlight because my daughter's birthday is today and we just came from celebrating it, and we're all kind of like doing a procession down to the promenade, and so to have him on the way was just like magic.
And this robot artist continues to enthrall adults and children alike. In what seems straight from a sci-fi movie, he's planning on one day taking over the world with his creations.
Well, I currently have 6 characters that I'm actively performing in, and I'm right now building another one and thinking about the next two after that I'm building.
What does he mean whenever he's actively... What did he just say? Like, does he just walk around the street in it? Are people buying these things? Are they being used? I'm really confused.
Building, so I have to think ahead, and I will have at some point an army of robots, as I say, all good-natured and all out there to make people smile and have fun.
Alright, don't start it. Don't. Alright, I'm gonna end it now. Well, that was kind of neat. I don't know if I want to end it. What's next? Family ditch expensive rents to live in a converted school. I imagine it says bus. Okay, let's watch this one. Sorry.
Groundbreaking orthopedic care for hip and knee replacement is more than national recognition for safety and quality.
We're ridiculous people, and this is a ridiculous lifestyle, and it just works.
Brian and Starla Sullivan have a rather unconventional family home.
Hi, I'm Brian. I live in a converted school bus with my wife and 3 kids, and I'm going to give you a tour. So come on in.
I wanted to feel like I was living in a tiny house and not a vehicle.
So right away is the living room.
Our sofas pull out into a full-size bed. We have a fully functional kitchen. We have an oven and a microwave combination.
Propane fireplace keeps us warm.
Okay. Oh my gosh, so that's the tiniest little propane tank I've ever seen. I'm not judging, but how many kids do they have? I couldn't imagine. I'm too claustrophobic. Like, there's so many people who are like, oh, I want to live in a tiny home. And I'm like, why? I mean, I don't want to live in a mansion, but I would feel... I need, like, wide open spaces, okay? Like the Dixie Chicks.
A single basin sink.
One thing that I really wanted to have having children was a bathtub. So we have a bathtub that's large enough to fit all the kids in, at least while they're this small.
And then we have a full-size washing machine. Composting toilet is simple. There's no plumbing involved, no water consumption or anything, and it produces compost that you can use to fertilize non-edible plants.
Ooh. Until 2 years ago, the family lived in much more ordinary surroundings.
We were living in an apartment about an hour away from Brian's work, and the commute was awful. He would work overtime just trying to pay the rent, and then he would sit in the car for about 3 hours a day in rush hour, and we would never see him. So we decided to make a change. We were watching YouTube videos about tiny houses, and there was this one in particular. We called them the crazy people who lived in a blue bus, and we just kind of looked at each other and went, do you want to live in a bus with me?
I thought she was joking at first. I was like, yeah, sure, you know.
No, really, let's live in a bus.
Yeah, and she was serious. I started to realize all of these little things that were benefits that, you know, I hadn't thought of before, like being able to be mobile, being able to pick up and move if I got a different job and it was 20 miles away or something.
Buying the school bus from a local dealership in 2014, the couple spent $30,000 transforming it over the course of a year into their ideal home that they say will save them a fortune in years to come.
So living in the bus, we pay $500 a month for rent versus $1,500 a month that we would be having to pay for an apartment. So we pay about a third of the cost of living elsewhere.
Wait, that. Sorry, I got a message, so I wasn't paying attention. I swear, if you, like, turn away for one freaking second, you miss so much. I don't know what building they just saw, but I'm like, oh, that looks nice. Don't you want to live there? Okay, so he it was taking him too long to... He sat in traffic for 3 hours. He was never home because of work. So did he, quit his job? Or they just drive the bus? I'm assuming he quit the job. But I'm going to have to rewind it. Sorry, guys. It happened so fast. It's so short. Oh my gosh. Did I really not pay attention that long?
Hours a day in rush hour, and we would never see him. So we decided to make a change. We were watching YouTube videos about tiny houses, and there was this one in particular. We called them the crazy people who lived in a blue bus, and we just kind of looked at each other and went, do you want to live in a bus with me?
I thought she was joking at first. I was like, yeah, sure,
No, really, let's live in a bus.
Yeah, and she was serious. I started to realize all of these little things that were benefits that, I hadn't thought of before, like being able to be mobile, being able to pick up and move. If I got a different job and it was 20 miles away or something.
Oh my gosh.
Buying the school bus from a local dealership in 2014, the couple spent $30,000 transforming it over the course of a year into their ideal home that they say will save them a fortune in years to come.
So living in the bus, we pay $500 a month for rent versus $1,500 a month that we would be having to pay for an apartment. So we pay about a third of the cost of living elsewhere. And as for utilities, also about a third of the cost. So we have money to pay off debt, student loans.
Bro, is she pregnant too? Did y'all see that? She's pregnant. So, are they parked at, their mama's house? Look, there's an RV over there. You have to be a minimalist to live like that. Or you would become, a hoarder very quickly. Especially with the kids. I couldn't imagine doing it by myself, but with the kids, oh my gosh, they would go crazy.
We have money to eat the foods that we want, go to the places we want.
But it's not all been a smooth ride for the family.
We have had frozen pipes, no running water. We've run out of propane in the middle of the night and had no heat, no hot water. We've lost electricity. Whenever any of those things happens, I'm just thankful that all three didn't happen at the same time. You're gonna go get it? Okay. Be careful for the camera, okay? I know a lot of people say that it's not possible for us to raise kids in this bus, especially until they turn 18, but I disagree. We added our full-length mattresses in the kids' room, plus extra space in the bunks. They're gonna grow into it and have their own private space.
And the family has no plans to leave alternative housing behind them.
Hey, nobody get mad at me. Why do they have girl stuff? Why do they have little girly dolls? It's just kind of weird. I don't want to hear no bullshit. None of that. None of that.
But I think they like it.
If we do move out of the bus, it's going to be something equally ridiculous.
Yeah, it's going to be something else that's unconventional.
We want to build a house out of mud, and that is probably going to be our next step.
Wow.
We are ridiculous people. We are.
Is that the baby that she just had, or does she have 3 kids while she's pregnant? That's cool. I guess someone ended at that. That was something different. That was cool. That was nice. The more you know.